Hello and welcome to Always Right, the podcast with me, your host, Charlie Wright. Today I'm joined by this old thing.
Genna. Hi, everyone.
Talk louder, mate.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, not that loud.
I have to find it in between.
Yeah, every time I listen to my old podcasts, or every podcast, my voice is so loud compared to everyone
But that's normal. That's a normal thing for you.
I know. I just always
You're always the
yelling,
loudest voice in the room.
like metaphorically or physically.
Maybe both.
I would agree
Double
with that.
meaning.
Anyway, Genna, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm bored.
Yeah, I'm bored too. Yeah.
I just finished my philosophy course yesterday.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, so that was fun with Yale University. I put it on my
Oh,
LinkedIn.
look at you. You are so educated.
I so am. But
How was it?
It was really interesting, but that was like 6 weeks and now I'm bored again. So now I'm just going to find another course to do, I guess.
Well, that's good that you're doing stuff like that. That's actually going to stimulate your brain.
Yeah, not really going to help me get a career, but at least it's interesting.
Exactly.
How have you been going with work? You don't have to say where you work, but...
Yeah, work is good, quiet at the moment, which is expected. I think it's the nature of the industry that we can't go out and shoot things during this time.
Yeah.
We're pretty limited in what we can do. But it's actually good having some downtime because we're quite busy the last month. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I've been watching Suits nonstop.
Oh, of course.
Just binge watching it. Yeah. I kind of want to be a lawyer.
That was me with How to Get Away with Murder. Every show that I watched, I remember when I was younger, every show that I would watch, I would be like, I want to do that as a career. I would watch Grey's Anatomy and be like, I want to be a surgeon. And then I watched SVU and I'd be like, I want to be a detective. And then I realized it's no, I don't want to be those things. I want to make shows and movies about.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyway, so today we're going to be discussing a range of topics that Genna doesn't know about.
Oh, I'm so excited and nervous.
Yes. Well, the first thing I wanted to ask you about is, because I was going through my YouTube videos, things that I've uploaded, and I was going through all of our old Upstart videos.
Yep. Iconic.
And I have many questions for you about your experience with that.
Oh, tell me. Ask me.
So for people who don't know what Upstart is, Genna and I went to university together at La Trobe. And there's a subject called Upstart Live where you run and produce a live news show every week. How many shows do you do? 10?
I think it ended up being around 10, yeah.
Yeah. And Genna has done the subject twice. And the first time you did the subject, it was an all-girl production team.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
all girls. Yes.
And then our show that we did together was 5 guys and 3 girls, and that was called The Extra Shot, which you can find on Upstart. I think I'll put links down below in case people want to watch.
They should watch. They're very funny videos.
They should watch, but I just want to know, which did you think was a more cohesive team of people? I'm not trying to be shady because I'm friends with some of the people who were in the Morning Journal, but I just want to know, did you think there was a different vibe?
Oh, 100%. A very different dynamic.
Oh, that was loud.
I preferred doing it the second time around with the extra shot just because I think I enjoyed my role in it more. And working.
Explain your role in both of them.
So the first time I did it, what was my role? I kind of did some field stories, a bit of editing, but I feel and this wasn't because of anyone. It was just the nature of the show. I didn't get to do stories that I probably would have liked to do.
Right.
Just, I guess, creative differences. But doing it the second time around, like, I feel like we're very similar, me and you.
Yeah.
And that a lot of the content we produced, like, we bounced off each other and we were in agreement most of the time. And yeah, I definitely preferred the stories that we shot.
Yeah. But so with the morning journal,
Yes.
did other people tell you what stories you were going to produce?
Yes. So it was more, yeah. I don't even think I kind of like presented any ideas as such.
Wow.
I think
So you
most
think
of the,
that
I
our
think
show
most of the
was
stories were given to me, and I would just go out and produce them. And
right?
some were like, we did like a gelati one, for example. We did an Italian themes one.
Yeah, I remember.
Which was very down like our alley, me and SJ and Alicia and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't as much, I guess, flexibility to do.
But do you think that's because the producer, Tanique, of your show, who we love, go Tanique.
We do love Tanique, of course.
Do you think that's because she was more experienced, whereas the producer of the extra shot, I'm not dragging her, but I'm just saying she had never like produced anything before. So do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Like, it was much more structured with the morning journal, which is good, which is great because that's the real world, right? It's not going to be like last minute things. You won't see that happening.
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Ours was definitely less structured with the extra shot.
We had no structure.
It was no structure, exactly. So yeah, you're right that you do have a bit of both probably in the real world. But yeah, I think it actually comes down to structure.
I agree.
The main difference between the two shows.
But
and I think that's probably evident when watching the two shows as well.
100. Well, yeah, you can tell the one watching our show that we weren't as organized. Yeah. But like, I love the stories that we did. What were some of your favorite ones that we did together?
Oh my God. I enjoyed most of the stories we did. I'm trying to think. I thought the ASMR one was so funny.
That was great.
Dad jokes, hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like everything we did, we made it fun no matter what it was. Like, for example, when we did
100%.
the multicultural festival, that can be quite a dry, boring topic. Yeah. Not for any reason, just, and we made it quite fun, and you got to dance in it. You got to eat food.
Anything where I can eat food is ideal. 400 Gradi, that was a good one.
That was a good. I forget them all. 400 Gradi was good. What else did we do?
Alice in Wonderland.
Yes. I actually have these. Like, I put them on my channel as like part of my portfolio.
Smart. And what else was I going to ask you about the show? Do you think there was a massive difference between working with all women and then working with predominantly men and lesser women?
That's a good question.
Because if I had to guess, I would say it was very different. Because maybe gender has nothing to do with it, but I don't know because I only did the subject once. But I feel like you either like to put in work and make things, or you don't. And some of the people in our team just didn't like to work.
Exactly. You're 100% right, but I don't know if at the end of the day that comes down to gender or just individuals themselves. So, you can have girls that don't want to do any work, have no interest in the subject, just doing it, for the credit points, whatever.
That is true.
And you can have boys like that too. So I think it just comes down to did people want to be there? And it showed very evidently if they didn't, and we won't name names.
No. But, like, I remember we had a lot of arguments. Not you and me. I mean, like, everyone in our team.
Yes, we did. We had
did you have arguments like that in the morning journal?
Probably not as heated. They were definitely probably more civilized arguments.
Yep.
And yeah, quite reasonable as well. Whereas, there were definitely some more questionable ones.
What was that sound?
I just, with my nails. Sorry. I keep forgetting that everything's, all noises are probably a bit enhanced.
Yes, very much so. Do you think all the arguments were because of me? I just have a very strong personality. They weren't all to do with me. I can think
No, not all to do with you.
Yeah.
You know what I think you're good at? I think you're good at fueling, the fire. And so, if you know that...
I don't agree with that. I think that if I think something is unnecessary or I think it's not going to make a good show, then I say it.
Which is good. I think that's a very good trait to have.
Yeah, but...
Oh, was there a but?
I felt like you were going to say but.
It just depends on, I think everyone took it pretty well, though, even in the extra shot. Like, we didn't have... I don't know, it didn't divide us at the end of the day. Like, there were definitely groups, but...
Well, yeah, there always is.
Yeah. I think everyone, at least, no one was overly sensitive.
No, they weren't. But I think that was my favourite subject I ever did at uni.
Oh, 100% me too.
Because, like,
we had so much fun.
It didn't feel like a subject. It felt like actual work, which I loved.
Exactly. Like, we would have meetings.
Yeah.
What were they called when we did those?
Production meeting?
Yeah, production meetings.
I think so, yeah.
And that felt like a real world scenario, pitching ideas and stuff, and then, like, getting roasted if your idea is shit. Like, that would happen.
It would happen. Don't you miss uni? I miss it a lot.
I do. Definitely.
I miss the vibe. Like, I just miss having a coffee and a spinach and feta borek. Charlie
finished uni before me, and because he loves uni so much, he would still come, like, when I would have, like, a gap between classes, he would still come and have a coffee. It was very funny. Oh, sorry, an iced coffee.
Always, never a hot coffee. But that's because I live, like, 5 minutes away from...
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I do miss it, though.
I miss it too.
They were good times.
I miss, like, the educational part, but I also miss, like, the social part more.
Yeah.
Clearly.
See, I don't know about you, but did you have a best year there? For example, like, I know that I hated first year and I thought I was going to struggle to get through. But, like, third year... Oh, yeah,
third year was the best, obviously.
The absolute best.
Because,
it was so much fun.
Psychologically, it's like you're, like, in year 12 again, when you're in your last year of uni, and you're like, I'm amazing, I know everything. You could be... Someone will ask you where something is, and you'll be like, oh, it's over there. Yep. Even though you actually have no idea. Like, I have no idea where it was by third year.
Exactly, yeah.
But then it's like when someone asks you, like, where's the best place to get coffee? You give them a list. You're like, go here, don't go here. Like, does that mean we have, like, superiority complexes where we like to be like...
I think so.
Maybe.
Slightly maybe.
But I didn't hate first and second year. But was just kind of not... I mean, obviously our last year was the best because we became friends, duh.
Because we met each other, exactly.
Yeah. And, like, I just think your first year of university is really, like, maybe not difficult, but it's just hard to get into, like, the groove of things.
Yeah.
You haven't...
Yeah.
I mean, depends what type of degree you're doing, but...
Yeah. But it's a big difference from high school, I found, which...
Oh, 100%.
I guess everyone knows at this point. So it's probably just that transition period, getting used to the
Yeah.
change. But yeah.
But did you see what I shared on Facebook?
With, am I allowed to say? Like, is it
Yeah, I think you can say it.
with Monash?
Yeah.
That's what you were talking about, yeah?
So for those of you listening who don't know, they had, I guess it's for like orientation or something. They had a Zoom meeting with like new students,
Yeah.
and but I guess there were also like current students in the call as well. Did you watch the whole thing?
I did watch the whole thing. Yeah.
And like the moderator or whoever she was asking people questions like, any new students, do you have any like questions or anything? And this girl went in and was like, how we expected to, like, how is the university saying that the experience right now during COVID is the same as when it's in face to face? And like the woman kicked her out of the Zoom call, and like 3 people after her just said like, we can't believe you kicked her out. Like there was just so much drama. And like, I completely agree with her. You cannot possibly compare
Absolutely.
like remote learning to learning in person. It's not even the same thing.
It's not comparable at all.
No.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should have to, I mean, I don't know if you should have to pay the same amount. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I think it should be, yeah. Yeah, it makes no sense to, because you can't offer the same learning experience at all.
Yeah, no, you can't at all. Especially like, I think about our degree. How?
How
You
could you
can't do any
possibly?
of it like not in person.
Nah, no way. It's actually impossible. So
Yeah, I don't
how would
know.
we have done it?
I don't. I'm just thinking like the like production subjects.
Yeah.
You,
Would they just not offer them?
I guess not. But then it's like, imagine doing a media degree and they don't offer production. Like I would have dropped out.
Exactly. Especially for like the media industries majors. Like
Yeah.
that's insane to not have that as part of the course. And if it's not there, if it's not going to be offered, then there's no way you should be paying the same amount.
No, 100%. I completely
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. So are they definitely not, doing anything about that? Like, have you heard anything?
The university.
Just universities in general.
No, well, I know semester 2 of this year is all online.
Okay.
But our friend Shruti, she's still doing the media part of her degree. She's doing Upstart, but she's doing the editorial part.
Okay.
And she called me and she was like she was talking about going to the first meeting. And I was like, oh, how are you going to like go to a like socially distance? And she goes, no, it's all over Zoom. And I was like, wow, I can't even like
imagine that.
And then like now, I guess for the editorial part, which is like the online journalism, it's a lot easier to do
100%. Yeah.
over Zoom.
I mean, they don't have to go out and shoot field stories, for example.
But I have seen that they are doing the live part through Zoom. Like I watched some of it, but it's like, it's just not the same. It's not the same thing at all.
It couldn't be the same.
No.
Yeah. I'd be very disappointed going through uni at this time.
100%. We're just going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we are back. So now we are going to do some relationship advice.
Oh, you're going to the 2 best people for relationship advice, 2 singles.
Yeah, 100%. So I asked some people. Actually, no, it's not just I mean relationship as in human relationships, like friendships, relationships.
Perfect.
So I asked some people on my Instagram and they left me some, but I'm going to say from anonymous, so I don't reveal my sources.
That's exciting.
So the first one is someone said, I have a relationship with this guy, but my friends do not like him because every time we have an argument, I tell them all the horrible things that he's done, blah, 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 right? Um,
Mm.
and we have broken up several times, and my friends still don't like him, and they act very cold when he comes around. How am I supposed to deal with this?
Oh, that's tough, hey? That's
Yes.
tough. As soon as friends and relationships mix, I think it gets very hard because we, of course, take the opinion of our friends. And even if you try and block that out, it's still there. Um,
Yep. Do you have
yeah,
personal
that's,
experience with like that situation? So I
yeah,
what?
yeah. Like, for example, one of my ex partners, my friends didn't like him at all. But that's because they knew how he treated me. And that obviously would come
Of
out
course.
when you have an argument and it's like, he did this. And they're like, fuck him. Like, are we allowed to swear, by the way?
Yeah, I have an explicit rating, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, but I put myself in their shoes, and if it was one of them, I would have hated that partner too.
It's just difficult because, like, if you're the person who's in the relationship, and obviously when something goes wrong, you want to tell your friends about it. Like, you want to get your
Of
friends'
course.
opinions, but
Yeah,
you don't really think about how what you're saying is gonna like linger with them and how they're really gonna hold
absolutely.
on to that. And
Yeah.
it's like I've had several friends who have been in like tumultuous relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to see their significant other, and it's like every time I see them, I'm just thinking about all the horrible things that they've
Oh,
done,
well,
and
exactly.
I
Spot
don't know
on.
how to like get over it. But I
Yeah,
think at the end of the day, I know that like they're your friends, and obviously your friends, their opinion matters or whatever, but
yeah,
it's about you. If you're the one in the relationship, it's about you, and you can't really think about what your friends are thinking or saying about the relationship. Do you agree
100%.
with that?
Yeah, I agree. And I think that also your friends need to respect the fact that you're still in that relationship, obviously for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think they need to, for example, when like seeing each other, like the friend seeing their friend's partner, they need to keep that hostility away, even though they, have that judgment there because they know things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they need to definitely be able to draw the line and still keep it
Yeah.
friendly with them out
But
of respect for their friend.
yeah, of course. But it's just hard because you can't walk around on eggshells with people. Like you can't,
Hmm,
you know,
of course not.
especially because I'm me. I'm like, if I don't like someone, I'm gonna say that I don't
Yes.
like them.
Yes, I know.
Which maybe is
I know.
bad, but I don't know. Okay.
Mm,
Next
it's a tough
story.
one though.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
tough. Anonymous says, my boyfriend was talking to other girls and I don't know how to get past this. We've been together for a year. We had arguments when I found out, but we decided to stay together and I don't know if I will ever get over it. My
Mm,
opinion is if you're asking this question, you already know that you're not going to get over it. So I think you
yeah.
should just not be together.
I think you're right that if you have to, clearly there's trust issues there or else you wouldn't be concerned.
Of course.
Um, and so if you have to ask and if you're feeling unsettled by it, then I think that goes a lot deeper. There's obviously a lot of, like I said, trust issues. Um, but yeah, that's another tough one where uh, you can't have a relationship if you don't trust your partner. Trust is the most pivotal thing in a relationship. So, um,
100%.
yeah. So,
And I think it's
yeah.
if I think also people need to like know themselves. Like if you know that you can get over something or if you know that you can like forget that that happened, then it's fine. But
Yeah.
if you know that you're never going to get over it and if you know that it's going to like drag your entire life down, then you have to know, you just have to know that it's not going to stop until you are out of the relationship.
Yeah. But it, like, your partner is always going to have like friends of the opposite sex. But then it comes down to, do you trust that it is just a friendship? And do you have valid reason to trust that it's not just a friendship? So, yeah.
And I also feel bad for people in that situation because it's like, I feel like sometimes they get like gaslit by their significant other if they have like spoken to other girls or guys or whatever. 100%. And it's like, oh no, they're just my friends, like whatever. And it's like, that may be completely true, but because of your pattern of behavior, you can't expect your significant other to believe that and to be like, oh, that's fine. Like, oh, you've been speaking to other people, but this one girl is your friend. Yeah, that's fine. Like, that's just not realistic.
Exactly. Yeah, you're 100% spot on there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Next one. Anonymous says, I like one of my female friends, but I don't know how to tell her without freaking her out. I value her as a friend, and I don't want anything to mess that up, but I do really like her. What should I do?
I'll let you take the lead with this one.
I feel like we're going to have different opinions, but I just think that, well, it's difficult because, like, I feel like, because I have a lot of female friends and, you know, I live in the house with, like, 3 women. I feel like I can, like, empathize a little bit because it's like, if I was a woman, and I feel like because women have to deal with, like, gross advances from men all the time, I feel like when you're friends with someone and they do that to you, it's hard for you to be like, yeah, I still want you in my life, even as a friend.
Yeah.
So do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's such a tough one, this one.
Because it's like, I understand, and at the end of the day, I feel like if you feel like you can't sleep at night because you haven't told her that you like her, then you should tell her. But you have to be, you know, actions have consequences. You have to be prepared. Absolutely. That something bad might happen or she might never speak to you again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because it can very much change the friendship, especially if it's unreciprocated. But then on the other hand, there's no reason why a friendship couldn't turn into a relationship. And how do you know that the feelings aren't reciprocated? And you don't really know until you ask and put it out there. But you're right that you have to expect that it could, be of detriment to your friendship.
I agree. But at the same time, I also feel like if that person if you really value them as a friend and if they really value you as a friend, I feel like you could get past it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, that's so difficult. But
no, you're definitely right.
If you I feel like you have to take a break though. You can't just immediately be like, hey, I like you, when then someone says, well, I don't like you, but we should still be friends. If that happens to you, you have to be like, I need to take a break, because otherwise you're going to keep liking that person because you're going to keep spending time with them, but they're going to like friend zone you. So you have to like take a break and be like, I value you as a human, but I need time.
I need time. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, Charlie. Very good advice.
This is the last story. Last question. I had an argument with my girlfriend because she wants me to move out of home, but I don't want to. She's been living on her own for 3 years now, and I have always lived at home. I don't know how to talk to her about this because we have completely different opinions.
Oh, okay. Well, I stand by compromise. So I think that you need to find an agreement that's in between. So whether it's that you stay part-time at your partner's house and then part-time still at home, so you can get used to you know, being out of home and that transition, because eventually down the track, I'm sure you will have to move in together. But yeah, I think definitely just comes down to compromise. Find a healthy balance there.
I think that's a good idea, like spending part-time, because like if you've never lived outside of home, it can be scary for some people to just like immediately move in with someone else. But I also think I can't really tell from the way that they worded the question, but I feel like they're saying that their girlfriend feels like that he doesn't want to live with her.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's a problem with the relationship, but it could just be that he's, he likes living at home.
Yeah.
Maybe
and the
he's
best
from
thing,
a European family where they don't move out,
Yeah, exactly. And I can relate to that 100%. Like I would be petrified to move out of home right now, even if it was with a partner that I've been with. Like there would be that feeling of doubt there, which is normal, but he needs to, or she needs to express to their partner that it's not about, that I don't want to move in with you and that I don't want to, whatever. It's more of the fact that, it's a big change in my life. It's a big transition. And yeah, it's something that I need to slowly get accustomed to.
Yeah, I think you have to clarify what the reason is.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just think it's interesting. Like I was listening to a podcast the other day and it's like a girl and a guy, a boyfriend, girlfriend podcast. And I just think it's interesting how moving out of home is so different in like different cultures. Because I feel like not that being an American is a culture, but like they're American and they were like, oh yeah, like I think that when you turn 18, you should move out of home. You should like you should like move into an apartment, even if you can't like live on campus at university. Like I think you should move out. I think it's an important experience. And I'm just like, I do not agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
but we've been raised very differently, I think.
Yeah. But I just feel like when you say that, it comes from a place of privilege where it's like, I can afford to move out when I'm 18. Like most people can't afford to move out of home when they're 18. Most people can't.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the girl was like, oh, if you can't afford to move out, you just get a job. I'm like, it's not that simple. I hate when people say, just get a job.
Just get a job. Yeah. No, it's not. Yeah, you're spot on.
Yeah. But I feel like, do you think you could move out of home now if you had the financial means?
I think I could. Would I want to? Not really. I don't see myself, honestly, probably moving out until I'm moving out with a partner, because I know I couldn't live alone.
What about with roommates?
If they were close friends and I knew that, I think it can ruin a friendship and it worries me.
Oh, it can. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so I'd definitely be a little bit hesitant to do that.
Yeah. I feel the same way, not for that reason, but for like, I just lived in Spain, I guess, which is moving out of home. But like, that's, like, I know that I could move out of home, like right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really a comfort level thing. It's more just like money.
Is it more, is it convenience as well?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like not having to like, especially right now, obviously I want to live at home. Like that's why I came back from Spain, because like I didn't want to be overseas. Well, it's more the fact of being overseas than it is like living alone. But yeah, I would move out. Like I like my own space. I like to be alone. Yeah.
But also, I see that for you.
I like having roommates though. Like I like my roommate in Spain. Like I like having someone to talk to. Obviously, because I just love talking.
Yes, you do. Like for example, like how did you cope with, your 2 weeks quarantine when you came back, when you were literally by yourself? But I guess that's different because you couldn't leave the house too, and that's not reality. Yeah.
Yeah, that was difficult. Yeah, that just sucked. It's more just like the fresh air aspect of that. Like if I could be here in my house, like in my backyard, and not have to leave. I mean, I would still be like, I still want to leave.
Yeah.
Like, have you been going like to the office a lot or no?
No, not since stage 3 was announced.
Right. But how do you feel about like working at home? Because I was speaking to our friend Alicia the other day.
Yes.
And she said that obviously she's been working completely from home, and she was like, I could do this like for the rest of my life. Like I could work from home the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah. I think I would get over it. It's great at the start because, oh my God, this is so convenient. I don't have to get up, 2 hours before I start work to get ready and drive in, and I don't miss the traffic. It's very different. I don't think I could do this forever.
No.
Yeah, I miss social interactions.
Me too. I just miss, I don't know, like the only time I leave my house is to walk my dog, and when I go for like a longer walk every day. Like I haven't driven a car in like 4 weeks.
How crazy.
It's a crazy time we're living in.
It is. Something we're going to look back on and be like, whoa, did that happen?
Yeah, hopefully. I just feel like I realized the other day, I was like, I really do want to go back to Spain.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. It's just such a process now, more than it was. And like, it was such a process before already, and now it's just 10 times worse.
Yeah. When would you be able to anyway? I just can't see like the borders opening for overseas travel anytime in the next, like, I think
until like the end of next year, maybe. Or, I don't know, middle of next year, because I applied to go back in January of next year.
Yeah.
And I'm still part of a Facebook group with all of the other like assistants who are in Spain, and they're saying that they all got their new placements, but that's because like they all stayed in Spain. They didn't leave. Yeah. And I was just like, they sent me an email saying that my application went through and it was fine or whatever. And then they sent me another email and they were like, oh, we know that you're back in Australia, so if you want to leave, you have to write a letter to the Australian government, and you have to...
Yeah, be such a process, oh my gosh.
And the visa now is like $800, and last year it was $50. So it's just like...
Why is that?
I feel like they're capitalizing on disaster. And I feel like because I guess...
Which is an awful thing.
Yeah, it's horrible. And I feel like the number of people going to teach English has been like halved. So now they're like, well, we need more money.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But like the second that I can travel, I'm out of here.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that'll be the case for most people. Everyone just wants freedom again.
But yeah, I'm still sad that I haven't been to Italy. I mean, I was in Rome for like literally 12 hours, but like I want to go back badly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, once all this is has finally settled, I think a trip is definitely on the cards.
Yes. I'm still doing Spanish lessons on Duolingo.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember like when I would ask you and like Alicia and all people who could like speak Italian or whatever or understand it, and you would all be like, oh, I can't speak it, but I can understand it. I would be like, I don't get that. That makes no sense to me. But now, like, I completely get it because, like, I would say that I could read Spanish very well, but it's like, if I had to, like, reproduce it from memory, it's a lot harder.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, because if I understand a few words in a sentence, I can put the sentence together.
Yeah.
If someone's speaking, I can get the gist. I can be like, okay, I know that word and that word. This is kind of what they're saying. But to actually formulate a sentence, you need to know every single word and in the correct order.
Completely.
And yeah.
Can you read Italian, or you can just...
Reading it is much easier.
I feel the same with Spanish, yeah.
Yeah, because same reason, like you can pick up a few things and go, yeah. And I think you have a bit more time when you're reading, whereas when people speak Italian, for me, it's very fast. When they're probably speaking at a normal pace, but it just sounds like it's like I can't distinguish every single word in the sentence. It's just all together, which is how we speak and how what they would probably think when we speak English.
Oh yeah, I feel like our perception of language is so fascinating because it's like, like I know, because I've seen people like from South America say that people from Spain speak way, way faster than any other Spanish speakers. And when I was in Spain, I was like, oh my God, yeah, they speak really fast. And I was like, I don't know if that's because I had never really heard Spanish spoken like that before. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say, something. No, when you were in Italy, did you have like convos with people in Italian, or would you just be like passive listening and try to respond?
Well, because every time I've been with Italian speakers, I've never really had to throw myself in the deep end and just go for it. Like I've either been with my family who speak fluent Italian and they just like take over every conversation. Or I've been with, like, when I went with SJ and Alicia, they both speak quite good Italian, and so I kind of hid in the corner a little bit and let them take the lead most of the time, which I think if I went on my own or with someone who didn't speak Italian, it would actually be beneficial for my Italian.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because I would be forced to try and speak.
You should get on Duolingo and learn some stuff.
Yeah, I might actually. Like, my mum's an Italian teacher, which is infuriating because she could very well teach me Italian, but doesn't. But anyway.
Yeah, when I was in Spain, like, my friend and I, Gabriella, like, she speaks Spanish really well. Like, her mum is also a Spanish teacher, but she's just shy. Like, she didn't want to, like... And she was American. Not that really means anything, but, like... She had never really spoken Spanish in Spain before. So, like, when I was with her and we would go to a restaurant or something, like, I felt like I had to, like, speak Spanish. And then I made friends with this girl, Ariane, who I love. Hi, Ariane. I hope you're listening. And she can speak fluent Spanish because her boyfriend is Spanish.
Yeah.
So I thought it was funny because, like, they met in, like, Lithuania, and so she's French and he's Spanish, but they could only speak English to each other.
Wow.
Like, they could only speak their second language to each other.
How interesting, yeah.
I thought it was so fascinating. And I would always ask her questions. She'd be like, it's, like, not that interesting. And I just feel like to Australians, where we, like, having a second language isn't really a thing, unless you're, like, Italian, Greek. But, like, we don't, it's not common. And then you go to Europe and then, like, they can all speak, like, 10 languages. Like, I know. And they're just like, oh, it's just the norm, whatever.
Yeah, I wish we placed more of an importance on learning other languages. But I think we fall back on the fact that English is almost like the global language that everyone learns. And so it's like, oh, well, we're fine because, you know, we can go to Italy and most people will speak English.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I think Italy has a pretty bad English rate.
Do you think so?
It's worse than Spain's.
Really?
Yeah, Spain's shocking for English. Okay. Unless you're in, like, the big cities and, like, and where
tourist destinations, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, where I lived in Murcia, or Murcia as they pronounce it. It's like a small town. And they pretty much speak English nowhere except for, like, this massive cathedral they have. And, like, all the restaurants there, like, I would try to speak Spanish and they would just immediately speak in English. And
speak in English to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, no idea. No
You're right. Yeah, I think there's definitely an importance on it in tourist spots because they probably rely people will if people can't speak English, they're not going to have
Yeah. But I'm not saying that's a
customers.
bad
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing either, because like I had dinner one time with one of my teacher and her family, like her like three sisters and all of their kids and
Yeah.
stuff. And a couple of them couldn't speak any English. And my teacher was like to me, yeah, like they've never left Spain. And I was like, well then yeah, they don't have a reason to speak English.
Exactly. Spot on. Yeah.
And like I just feel like English speakers, we have a thing where it's like we go somewhere and we expect them to
We
know
expect
English.
it.
It's
Yeah.
really
Which
bad.
is it's horrible. It's actually horrible because vice versa, when we have internationals coming here,
100%.
would people give them the time of day if they didn't speak any English?
No,
Absolutely not.
which is horrible.
Yeah. It's horrible.
And like
Yeah.
I just think about when Americans like go to Mexico or whatever and they expect
Yeah.
them to just immediately speak English. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you know, they probably can speak English, but like you shouldn't just assume that.
Assume that. Yeah.
Like
I think
no, you go.
I was just gonna say I think we should always make an effort if we're going to another country to at
Always.
least try and learn, some things.
Completely. Like I remember when I first got to Spain, I would just speak English.
Yeah.
And then you can, like, I feel like it's probably the same in Italy. You get a vibe that people think it's rude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
100%.
fair enough. I guess it is rude.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
like, you start, like, speaking more Spanish, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I think they appreciate it a lot when
They
you
do.
at least try.
100%. Like, I remember one time where after the lockdown started, my roommate and I, Eloise, like, we had two supermarkets that were close to us, but they were, like, tiny. Like, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
like smaller than, like, an IGA type of thing.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the closest like big supermarket was like an Aldi equivalent, but it was like a half an hour walk away. So
Yeah.
sometimes we would walk there and then walk home with like 5 bags of stuff and our arms would like fall off because it would just be
Mm-hmm.
horrible. And one time we were walking home and we were just like speaking in English, obviously. And this guy was like walking down the street and he stopped and he started like looking at us and we were walking and I was like ¿Qué pasa? Like, what's up? And he was just like, oh, English, yeah, English. And I was like,
Oh my
I
God.
didn't no, but he wasn't being like, he was being like sincere, and I didn't understand anything. And he was like, oh, I love English, and I was like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
And
Okay, great.
it's just like things like that happen to me all the time when I was in Mercia.
Yeah.
Like I was at a restaurant one time in line waiting to order and I was with Ariane and I was just like, because every time I was with her, I would just get her to order stuff, which is bad. And then she eventually was like to me like, oh, you have to like speak yourself, otherwise you're never going to learn. So we were like ordering.
Exactly.
And I don't know what I think I was ordering something and Ariane could understand what I was saying, but the girl like taking the order, she had no idea. Like I was saying arroz de cebolla, which is like onion rings, but she couldn't understand what I was saying. And then Ariane said it and the girl was like, oh, I was like, wasn't I just saying that? And then,
oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
So while I was talking to Ariane, this girl behind us like tapped me on the shoulder and was like, oh, where are you from? And I said, every time I said I was from Australia, everyone would freak out.
They would lose it. Yeah, I can imagine.
They loved it. And I was just like, oh, I'm from Australia. And then I was like, oh, most people just assume that like I'm British because they just assume all Australians are British. I don't know why. And then she was like, oh, no, like I can tell that you're Australian. And then she said that she watched an Australian show. Or no, she said
Really?
she said she had seen the movie Australia.
Okay.
And she was like, yeah, you sound like Hugh Jackman. I was like,
Oh.
I don't know about that.
Thank you.
I was like, yeah, thanks. And then she was like, yeah, I love speaking English. Like, I love listening to people speak it, which is so foreign to me. I'm like, why?
I know.
I think English is ugly.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Well, not ugly, but it's just like, and like I would always say to Ariane, because she said she liked English too. I'm like, why? I just don't.
Why?
Get it.
What do you like about it? Yeah.
Yeah, like I think Spanish, Italian, those languages are way more interesting to listen to than English.
Yeah, like they're actually like they're nice languages to listen to.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
Any other topics you want to discuss?
I was just kind of leaving it to you to run the show.
Well, did I tell you that? No, I was telling someone else that I did a podcast the other day with Abby, which I didn't put out because I went on a rant about racism.
Yeah.
And I listened to it and I was like, oh my God, I sound so angry. Like, I'm just like, oh, I hate racists. Like, I don't, like, it makes me so angry. And the episode was like an hour and a half long and it was torture to try and edit.
Yeah.
So now I'm
Go on.
I was like, I'm trying to keep it like to an hour because it's a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah. I think you should definitely still put that out because...
Oh, no, I did put it out.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a valid thing to be angry about. It's not like, irrational, so...
No, I just feel like sometimes I listen to myself and I'm like, oh my God, you're annoying. Do you feel that way? Annoying. I mean, I know you hate like being on camera.
I don't like listening to myself either.
Fair.
It's just,
You don't listen to any of our podcasts, I bet.
What, ours, when we do them?
Yeah.
I listen to it and then I'm like, oh, I can't listen to myself anymore.
Yeah.
I'm so annoying. I feel the same way. I'm like, I'm fucking annoying.
I just, like, I like to give it space after I record it because I feel like if I edit it the next day, I'm like, I remember everything that we said. Like, sometimes I like to leave it so I get a little surprise. I'm like, oh, I don't remember saying that.
I know. Oh, that was so intelligent of me.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay, so I think this episode is over. Genna, do you want anyone to follow you on social media or are you against that?
I mean, sure, if you want to follow me on social media, it's just so are you going to maybe just link it? Because my name is a tough one.
I'll just link it.
Okay, just link it.
If you want,
follow me.
Yes, and then I'm going to put the links to the Morning Journal and the Extra Shot down below. But yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Charlie Wright, but there's 2 R's in Charlie because someone stole Charlie Wright. I'm still trying to get it. I've messaged them. I've messaged Twitter and Instagram, but they won't give it to me.
That's a sad shame.
It's a sad shame. But anyway, until next time, bye.
Bye.